Hey, what's going on, guys? So today I'm making a video about my tissue box. What do you think of that? Well, it's not just because there's tissues in here. I mean, I'm sure if you had a cold or something, you'd value a nice box of soft tissues. But no, obviously the tissues are not very important at this moment. We're talking about what is hidden inside this box. That's right. I've used this, plain, simple tissue box as a disguise to hide wealth for the last 4 years. And I'm going to go back a little bit in history and talk about what's inside this box. You guys have seen a video on it. Well, some of you, if you've been watching long enough. I posted a video back in 2016 of the time when I purchased a 100-ounce silver bar from APMEX. It's their struck bar. I had saved up money, I sold some things, and I really wanted to invest in a large sum of silver. Now, as of the recording of this video, I don't have in front of me exactly what I spent on that. I do keep a small log of the exact amount I spent on precious metals, to the penny, what spot was at that time, and then of course extra money like fees, shipping, things like that. But I know that it is right around $1,500, all right, with the shipping and everything. So I spent $1,500 on a chunk of shiny metal. And when I got it, I did my video here on YouTube and stuff, and then I thought, where am I going to keep this? I need to keep this in a safe spot. And at that time, I had heard a story, and I'm kind of paraphrasing because I don't remember the exact details of the story, but the idea was to hide wealth in plain sight. So like if someone wants to break into your home and steal your stuff, there's like the go-to spots, under the mattress. A lot of old people keep money under there, in the underwear and sock drawer, there's like the go-tos, obviously, they're going to check closets and any kind of space for any kind of safes. Now, I actually have a safe in my house, and I've made a video about this before, and my safe has nothing of importance inside of it. Has some BS things here and there. Things that may look like it has value. I actually have, fake money in there. Not counterfeit money, but I do have fake money, which I've done a video on, I believe, in the past. So, like, in the hurry of a thief, they would find the safe. Maybe they break it open in the house. Maybe they just steal the whole thing. But the idea is they focus on that safe, okay? So let's say they do break it open. They see these bundles of cash that are already pre-crimped and crumbled and stuff, and it looks legit. I mean, if you're not scrutinizing it, you're not spending, a vacation in someone's home. If you're robbing someone, you're in and out, right? So these are just quick little things that they can see. And I have like a lot of deterrence. I have well, you know what? I'm not gonna say it on camera here, but I have some different things that would definitely draw attention, and it would seem very obvious, but it's not. They're basically traps for any kind of would-be thief. So they'd focus on certain things and not focus on other things. But at the time, there was a story of this guy who had like a $20,000 or $30,000 gold statue, solid gold. It was molded into something he liked. I don't know if it was a person or an animal or something. Who knows? But he had painted it like red or black or something and just kept it on the table in his house. And he had it there for years and years and years, and no one cared. No one asked about it. No one picked it up. No one looked at it because no one had any idea that it was thousands and thousands of dollars worth of gold. Now, I took the same concept in my mind and thought like, oh, it'd be really cool. Like I would totally, like, I don't know about gold, but I'd take a chance. I'd take like a 1,000-ounce silver, solid 999 silver statue and paint it, like mold it like a garden gnome or something, keep it outside in the garden. Like no one would ever think to take that, and you paint it all up, and you can actually layer the paint on there and chip it, make it look old and beat up, and you can even put it on its side, like it's just sitting out there like a piece of garbage in your garden, and no one would have any idea of its value. So anyway, I took that concept and I thought that was a really awesome idea to hide wealth in plain sight. Now, obviously, I'm making this video for the world to see because I am no longer going to be doing this. So if you do happen to come over to my house in the future and you see a box of tissues somewhere, it doesn't have anything in it except for tissues. Clearly, I'm smart enough to not share this and then continue to do this. I'm making this video to give people ideas, but obviously it's not something I'm going to continue to practice. In fact, the silver that is in here is going to be sold soon. So anyway, yes, I have a box of tissues. It's been sitting on a table for 4 years. I've had people come in the house, leave the house. I've had people use the tissues. All right, so it's inside. It acts as a massive weight because obviously it's very physically heavy. Generally, people don't pick up, strangers' boxes of tissues. If they need a tissue, they grab it, they pull it out, and there's no issue, right? Even the one underneath, it kind of got stuck there, but you can see these are feeding totally fine. All right, so the idea is that no one is ever going to give this a second look. If you are trying to, burglarize the home, I don't think you're checking the tissue boxes. You know what I mean? It was like a safe bet for me, and that's what I went for. I went for the tissue box, and it worked out great. So if I turn the side of the box, you can see that, it has these two flaps, okay? And it has the same thing on the other side. And what I did was I carefully peeled this up, put the silver inside, and then I glued it back down. So it did not look like it was ever tampered with. You can hear it sliding back and forth in there. But, when the tissue box is on the table there and someone needs a tissue, they grab the tissue, they, pull it out or whatever, and they use it. And it dispenses tissues fine. It doesn't actually interfere with the function of this being a tissue box, okay? The silver is actually underneath the entire stack of tissues. So like I said, people came, they used tissue box, no one ever gave it a second thought. All right, and 4 years later, I'm gonna open it up now and show you guys the silver, in case you haven't seen it the first time, or maybe you do remember it. So yeah, just going to pop this flap open. All right. And there it is, quite heavy. I'm gonna put this back together, put those tissues back in there because I don't want to waste them. So yeah, this was hidden in plain sight for 4 years. No one gave the tissue box a second thought. Now you might be saying to yourself, well, what if someone does try to lift it? It's gonna be really heavy. That's gonna be kind of awkward and weird. Well, not really. They go, wow, this is heavy. And I go, yeah, I put a weight in there so that in the summertime when the fans are blowing, it doesn't fall to the table. Okay, that solves that problem. I mean, I don't think anyone's gonna care. And even if they are suspicious of the weight, you know what I mean? I don't think they're going to assume that it's a giant chunk of gold or silver. You know what I mean? So it would be extremely rare that someone would even tamper with the box to begin with. And then once they got the quick explanation of, yeah, I'm just weighing it down because it's always falling off the table, I don't think they're going to continue to wonder if there's anything of value inside of it. You know what I mean? So I think it's a pretty safe bet. And like I said, so far it's worked out for 4 years. So anyway, here is the silver. All right, you can see 100 ounce 999 AG Atmex bar. All right, open it up. And there she is. Big old hunk of silver. All right. And it is heavy. It is super heavy. Super thick, super heavy. You can see I did wrap this in some plastic wrap, cling wrap, whatever you call it. And that is just so that it wasn't as exposed to air or anything. When I initially put this in there, I wasn't so worried about it tarnishing or anything like that. If it did, patina, colorize or whatever, I didn't care. 4 years later, you can see there's just very, very light coloring here. All right, otherwise it looks completely brand new, like I got it 4 years ago. So big old, heavy, heavy brick of solid, pure silver. Awesome. So, well, why am I telling you this? I could just leave it in the box there and wait, and it could sit there for years and years longer. When I got this, again, it was right around $1,500, okay, once everything's said and done. That's what I spent on this. But my plans were to sell it for $2,500 and then split that money and invest half of it in gold. Okay, so the idea was eventually I would obtain gold essentially for free. So now that silver has hit, it's gone past $25 an ounce. And trust me, when it hit 25, I was very tempted to sell, but I decided not to. I wanted to sit on it until it hit 30, and then it went up, and I think it hit 28 or 29 or something, and then it slowly started going back down. This is, when the pandemic started and everything was all crazy in the market. So yeah, I mean, I sat on it a little bit, and now that it went down, it's gone back up, of course, and different current events obviously change the values of metals and society and the stock market, and the strength of the dollar, and all that stuff matters, right? But I still want to continue my original goal of selling it for $2,500. The thing that's changed is that I have to pay some bills. All right, so I actually have taxes that I owe. Believe it or not, I don't mind paying taxes. What really, really upsets me, like to my core, is overpaying taxes and watching the government waste that money. on really stupid things. That bothers me. I totally understand how systems work. We need to pay our taxes so that things like, you know, roads get fixed. And by the way, in Pennsylvania, they don't know how to do that. All right, if you live in Pennsylvania, you know what I'm talking about. We're driving around Swiss cheese. PennDOT can't seem to get that right. I don't necessarily blame the workers. I think it's more so the guys sitting in offices in suit and ties that don't know what they're doing. But anyway, that's a whole that's for a whole other video. Yeah, I don't mind. I don't have kids, but I don't mind paying school tax. You know, I don't mind paying taxes that go to senior programs. They don't affect me personally, but I understand taxes are needed to run society. I get that. I'm all for it. It's fine. Believe it or not, I'm for welfare, but I'm not for people abusing welfare. You know, so there's a lot of systems in place in our country that make sense, and I have no problem supporting it. And I have no problem putting some of my hard-earned dollars towards it. What I absolutely cannot stand is the fact that everyone wastes money. No one knows what they're doing, and they're just constantly pulling more and more money out of us. Everything is taxed, it's overtaxed, it's ridiculous. Again, that's for a whole separate rant. But yeah, I like to stay current with my taxes. I don't like owing anyone money, and especially not Uncle Sam. All right, so I owe some taxes, and I decided that I'm going to sell this. I'm going to take my original $1,500, I'm going to reinvest that. I'm going to take the $1,000 profit, and I'm going to pay off some taxes. It's not very exciting or glamorous. I don't get a cool toy out of it, but at the end of the day, I make a pretty good profit. So that's what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to sell this for $2,500. I mean, if you guys are interested, hey, it's for sale. I can be contacted through Instagram. But right now, spot price, let me check it for today, because yesterday it was floating just over $24 an ounce. And it is, drum roll please, while the app is loading. Spot price is $24.56, so it's going back up. Believe it or not, $2,500 for this is actually a fantastic price. APMEX no longer has these in stock, and there is a huge premium on this. If you look on eBay, you'll see this exact bar selling for, right now, probably $2,800, $2,900, $3,000. Because you have to remember, it's not just the value of the silver, it's the time that it takes to make this particular item. This is struck, it's a minted piece, you know, not obviously currency at all. But that has a premium, all right? So selling for $25 is a fantastic deal. It's actually the cheapest you're probably gonna find one of those in the world. So now that I established that I want to sell this, the question is, where? Where do you sell silver? That's a constant question, because over the years I've told people, buy silver, buy gold, buy these precious metals. And they say, yeah, okay, yeah, but what do I do with it? Well, you sit on it until it's worth more money. Well, then what? Well, then you sell it. Well, who do I sell it to? That's the most common question. Okay, I got silver now. Well, what do I do with it? How do I sell this stuff? Well, there's a bunch of ways you could sell this stuff. eBay is fantastic because there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people who are constantly on there buying silver. So you tend to get a pretty good price on there, all right? And people don't necessarily let it go for less than spot, all right? And spot is obviously, it's given value at any given time, depending on what the market does. So eBay is a fantastic option just because you don't need to know much about anything. You just post it on there and you're good to go, and it sells. But I've always told people that the companies that sell stuff, you know, they sell silver, well, they buy it too. The biggest one being APMEX, and I think maybe the second largest, or at least extremely well known, is JM Bullion. So what I'm going to do in a separate video, you could stay tuned for if you're interested, is I have contacted both APMEX and JM Bullion, and I want to see what they are going to offer me to buy this silver. Because they sell it, they also buy it. Now, they're not going to give me probably spot. I have to imagine to be a little bit less than spot. And that's, again, so they can make money. They're a business. But the idea is it could be less than its true value because it's still more than what you paid for it. You're still making a profit. The question is how much? Now, there's other places you can list this. You can list it on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. But understand both of those options are very low on my list. Number one, there's a lot of potential for being ripped off, held at gunpoint, people not, you know, showing up, people not being serious. I mean, it could be a dangerous and very saddening experience trying to sell silver like that. I don't recommend it. All right, you don't want to advertise to some stranger that you're going to be at a certain place with something that has a lot of value. Obviously, you'd be open for theft. But besides that, people are just flaky, and also there's not too many specific people who are interested in precious metals that go that route anyway. Another fantastic option if you don't like eBay, don't want to pay fees or anything like that, is coin shops. Coin shops as well as pawn shops. Now, I don't have either where I live. In fact, I've never been to a pawn shop. Can you imagine that? I have so many hobbies. If I went to a pawn shop, I'd probably leave with a lot of stuff. Because just like antique stores, I mean, I have so many interests that everywhere I look, there's something I like, right? But yeah, that's just an interesting random fact. I've never been to a pawn shop. I just don't have them by me. I never had the opportunity. Coin shops and pawn shops both sell gold and silver, and that also means they buy it. And the idea is they want to buy it for less. So again, understand you're going in there, you might not get top dollar, but it just really depends on what you purchase it at and what your goals are as far as making a profit. So yeah, in a future video, I will show you and talk briefly about what JM Bullion will offer me to buy this, as well as APMEX. I'm quite curious. I've never actually asked for a quote from them before. Another huge, silver dealer that I've always loved was Monarch Precious Metals. I've made many videos over the years. They have just some interesting things and some really good prices. Also Scottsdale Silver. I've always been interested in them as well. I learned about Scottsdale Silver way back in the day. They came out with HPR ammo, and they were doing factory reloads at the time, and I got a bunch of it to try, and it was awesome. But they were really cool because they were the first people to come out with a stacker. So they had like a 10-ounce stackable bar, which was a really cool thing at the time. But anyway, those are like the top four, there's tons and tons of brands, and there's tons of dealers out there, but APMEX, JM Bullion, Monarch Precious Metals, and Scottsdale Silver were the four that I was always interested in, and they were just kind of go-tos. APMEX, again, being the largest, they had the most variety, but their prices were a little bit higher. JM Bullion tend to be a little bit cheaper for some things, and a lot of people have been very happy with them as well. And like I said, Monarch Precious Metals was always awesome for like smaller amounts. You want to buy one cool coin or one, random shaped bar or something like that. They had some just interesting stuff. So there you go, guys. I exposed my secret to the world, and feel free to use it. This is just one example. You can get extremely creative in hiding things in plain sight. Right now it's Christmas. There's tons of Christmas decorations. Maybe you have a little Christmas bear or something that's stuffed. You can just cut a little slit in the back, shove whatever you want in it, sew it back up. No one's the wiser. You got something hidden in plain sight. Decorations are a fantastic way to hide wealth. But there's other ideas. I'm not going to give all of them out because who knows? Who knows where I keep my stuff, right? Only I do, and Christina. But I bury things. I'll flat out say that because it's not like anyone's going to find it, but I bury a lot of stuff. I have silver buried. I have guns buried. I can openly say that because no one's going to know where they are. I'm the only person that knows. Christina doesn't even know some of that stuff. It's not because she's not allowed to. It's just because she doesn't care. But yeah, I get weird like that. I get very, very creative with stuff like that. So anyway, that's it for now. I'm a weirdo, and I kept a big old hunk of silver in my tissue box. But I wanted to tell you about it for a couple of reasons. Number one, just to say, hey, I told you to invest in silver, and I did, and I'm going to make some money on it. And that was the whole point. I could have saved this for many more years, but I wanted to take my profit and use it right now. Again, I hate owing people, and especially the IRS, and I definitely don't want to give money away, and having a debt and interest accumulating and stuff, it just sucks. I don't like that. So I just want to pay off my taxes as soon as possible. Anyway, that's it, guys. I'm not going to continue to ramble here. Although if you're still listening, you're probably interested. The people who didn't care, they stopped watching like 5 minutes ago. But that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. And again, stay tuned if you're interested in the silver stuff. I will do a update video on what the offers were for this. So that's all. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.